shit. Oh, you. Oh, the passion. The passion. The tender moment. The tender moment. The tender moment. So long ago. It is but a bittersweet memory. Where we kiss, and you discover that I was full of shit. Oh, the passion. The passion.
There are a multitude of active internet philosophers presenting heavy cases for your consideration. They are making solid arguments and putting forth sticky assertions. Why? Well, you see, what you don't understand is that you are a potential investor in the thought market. This is where thoughts are bought, sold, borrowed, lent, and traded. Perhaps you are feeling a little reluctant, but trust me, we can get you a good deal. Maybe you are feeling a little naked because you have not yet found your ideal ist to align yourself to. But don't you worry. We're going to set you up with the perfect ism to call your very own. And this is where you can set up and base your convictions. Every home should have one. What's the matter? You don't want to be convicted? Well, sorry, Charlie, but you ain't gonna be considered cool unless you are a convict. It's important for you to become a member of a camp. It's important for you to plant a flag and draw a line in the sand. Only then can you become a staunch stalwart. Only then will you be able to distinguish who the opposition is. And it's important to be able to distinguish who the opposition is, for if not, there can be no arguing. That's right. The argument. This is the sacred cow. Anybody who is anybody is making an argument. And make no mistake about it. We are getting somewhere with these arguments. Things are being accomplished. Progress is being made. But even if not, who really gives a shit? Just as long as we can argue, even for just the sake of arguing. 'Cause hey, you never know. Someone might decide to shift their investments, or to reinvest, or maybe even refinance their investments. You never know. One is always free to reconfigure their belief portfolio. Do whatever you want, just as long as you are invested. That's the key principle here. You must be invested. The side you choose really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the investment. What's that you say? You are thinking about not investing? Now, wait a minute now. Slow down. Let's not get crazy here. There are so many things for you to consider. Perhaps it is objective, or maybe it's subjective. It might be relative, or it might be absolute. Have you considered free will versus determinism? Let us not minimize the ontological and epistemological implications here. Let us not forget the values, the meanings, the purposes, and the narratives. Step right up and make a distinction. You will find that if you begin to sift through all these inventory items, eventually you will find the truth. A truth you can hang your hat on. A truth that will plant your feet firmly on the ground. And then, and only then, you will know something. If all of this is beginning to sound a little absurd, it's probably because more than likely it is. You see, what the philosophers, spiritualists, and intellects aren't telling you is that none of them know jack shit. Oh, and I know. That's just a cop-out, right? Let's just avoid certain things we're uncomfortable with by saying that we can't be certain about anything. Saying we're uncertain? Nice try, Einstein. There ain't nobody nowhere that really knows anything about anything. You're all full of shit. But Sage, we can be certain about temporary aspects of ever-changing phenomenal content relative to the context of our framework. What? Is that all you got? Yeah, that is all you got. So, in other words, completely full of shit. But what about the facts? Oh, you have a fact, do you? And I guess that's why you also have a reason. And what fact might that be? Are you going to take the clay and make a little happy face? Oh, that would be so great. Or perhaps you will mold the clay into a little suffering, unhappy face. Oh no. Ouch. Ouch. Is the clay a gift or is it a curse? Is it good, bad, right, wrong, evil, or good? Those are some nice distinctions. But scientifically, we know the clay is a bunch of atoms. And what are atoms but a bunch of energy? The entire universe and everything in it is energy. Break down the energy and what do you got? Nothingness. And what is nothingness but a pure potential? And what is pure potential? What does it look like? Who is it? What is it? When is it? Where is it? Why is it? How is it? Does it have a sound or a texture? Does it have a taste or a feel? Is it a spiritual essence? Or is it a material essence? You don't know jack shit. All you can do is throw around labels. The game of distinctions. Trying to use inventory items to explain the context. But what of the context of the context? In the context of the context of the context. You don't know jack shit and are completely full of shit. The only way you are not completely full of shit is if you admit that you don't know jack shit. Then you actually know something. And I see that the internet philosophers are making their rounds again and bringing up nihilism and making it abundantly clear that most of them don't have a clue to what they're talking about. Clarification, penetration. Nihilism in a nutshell. Two guys are in a dream. One guy's lucid, looks around and says, "Hey, none of this is real. None of this is existing. This is all fabric of imagination. The only thing that makes it real and existing is my awareness of this experience." The other guy looks at him and says, "What are you, fucking crazy? You dirty, stinking nihilist." And that's it. So, as you can see, nihilism isn't even really nihilism. What's called nihilism is just lucidity. And the word nihilist is a term used to malign lucidity. And what is the solipsistic implication of lucidity, aka so-called nihilism? The awareness of an experience of a reality is the only thing you can know to be for sure, and yet anything awareness is aware of is not real, substantial, or existing in the slightest bit outside the awareness of an experience of it. Beyond that, you don't know jack shit. And even this cannot be said to be 100% certain. It is something that no label will stick on. Like, we should be careful to not engage in authoritative disambiguation, but we should also be careful not to label it ambiguous either. For to slap a label of ambiguous on it and leave it at that is in itself an authoritative disambiguation. So you can certainly be certain about uncertainty just as long as you know that even your certainty about uncertainty is also uncertain. This you can be 100% uncertainly certain about. Jack shit, my brother. Jack shit. And yeah, you could question the dream, but you're just gonna go tumbling down the rabbit hole all over again. What is the fabric of imagination but a pure potential? What is pure potential? And so on and so on. And so, why are the internet philosophers all such tap-dancing, hard-line salesmen? They're all investors selling something. Selling thoughts, ideas, and concepts. Selling their egos and personalities. Selling club memberships, where the only thing you need to do to qualify is to have a specific set of beliefs, a specific set of opinions, and a specific set of values. The details really don't matter, just as long as you are vested. And this isn't a job just exclusive to philosophers, by the way. Actually, it's everyone's job. It's science's job. It's religion's job. It's history's job. It's math's job. To mar you in delusion and keep you away from lucidity. Labels like solipsism and nihilism, take them and throw them in the trash for all I care. The labels don't matter. These are supposed to represent recognizable aspects more than schools of philosophy. But people don't want you to recognize these aspects. They are hell-bent and dead set against it. And what happens when one speaks about these simple, clear, self-evident, recognizable aspects? What's the response? Smoke and mirrors. A whole bunch of shucking and jiving, aimed at restoring the clouds of distraction and convolution. They don't want you to be free, pure and simple. They want you to remain clung together in a mass conglomeration of delusion. You know, slaves usually don't like being slaves. But, ironically, the last thing a slave likes to see is one of his fellow slaves obtain freedom. So yeah, they're gonna hit you up with a whole lot of distinctions. They're gonna invite you to get tangled up in their webs of confusion. They're gonna showcase the ripples in the water as having a whole bunch of inherent intrinsic value, meaning, purpose, and narrative. Still not sure? Well, don't worry. They are lined up, waiting to convince you.